Jessica Pegula had just been bageled 6-0 in the biggest final of her season, in front of a crowd that wasn't even cheering for her. She walked to the microphone to collect the runner-up trophy, and instead of a short, forgettable line, she said something that is still being talked about across the tennis world right now. We're not telling you what she said yet, but here's what we can tell you. What did she say? It wasn't an excuse. It wasn't about the rain delay, the momentum, or the collapse in that final set. It was a direct statement about Alex Eala, specific, detailed, and completely unprompted. Why did she say it? Because what happened on that court over 2 rain-soaked days changed the way Pegula, and honestly, the entire tour, is talking about a 21-year-old who wasn't even supposed to be the story of this tournament. And when did she say it? Not in some quiet post-match interview days later. She said it standing right there, trophy in hand, moments after the loss, in front of the exact crowd her words were about. 3 questions, 1 answer coming up. But first, you need a few minutes to understand exactly why a world number 3 chose to say it in front of everyone, instead of walking off in silence, because the answer only makes sense once you've seen what led to it. Stay with this video. It's coming. Quick favor, tennis lovers. We're chasing our first 500 subscribers on Tennis Hive, and we've made it a challenge. Hit 500 before the next big story drops. If that's you, hit subscribe now. Okay, let's get into what Pegula actually said. This was the final of the Mubadala DC Open in Washington, D.C. On one side, Jessica Pegula, world number 3, top seed, the 2019 champion at this exact tournament, chasing her 12th career title and her 3rd of the season. On the other side, Alex Eala, ranked 28th in the world, playing in only her 2nd career tour-level final. The two had met once before at the 2025 Miami Open semifinal, where Pegula won in 3 tight sets. This was supposed to be the sequel, Pegula proving that result again on her own turf. Nature had other plans. Heavy rain and lightning forced a suspension on Sunday, with Pegula leading 6-4, 1-2. The match was pushed to Monday, a working day, forcing fans to rearrange their schedules just to see how it would end. When play resumed, roughly 20 hours later, something had shifted. Eala, who had been trailing, came back with renewed purpose. She leveled the 2nd set, breaking Pegula's serve at 4-5 to force a decider. Both players had looked evenly matched through the first 8 games of that 2nd set, trading holds and never letting the other get comfortable, right up until Pegula served to stay in it. That's when the pressure caught up with her. 2 backhand errors, 1 huge return winner from Eala, and the break was done. Set forced, and then came the part nobody saw coming. In the 3rd set, Eala broke for 2-0, then broke again for 4-0. She never let her foot off the gas, winning 24 of the last 32 points of the match. Pegula, rushed and increasingly error-strewn, couldn't find a single hold. Eala completed the set 6-0, a bagel in the biggest final of her career against a top 3 player. The full scoreline, 4-6, 6-4, 6-0. Eala had beaten the tournament's top 3 seeds, Zheng Qinwen, Alina Svitolina, Naomi Osaka, and now Jessica Pegula, to close it out. When the final point landed, the 21-year-old had become the first Filipino in history, man or woman, to win a WTA Tour singles title. Now, back to that trophy ceremony, because this is where it gets emotional. Most players who just lost 6-0 in a deciding set don't reach for generosity. Pegula did. Collecting the runner-up trophy, she looked out at a stadium that had turned almost entirely against her in her own country and said, "This is the best Monday final crowd I've seen." Then she turned toward the section packed with Filipino fans, flags waving, chanting Ila's name, and said, "To all the Filipino fans that came out and have supported, you guys are so helping to grow tennis around the world, and I appreciate that. Being a female athlete, being in tennis, we love to see that growth." That's the complete moment. A world number 3, freshly beaten in the biggest final of her season, choosing to thank the crowd that had been cheering against her the entire match. This wasn't Pegula being generous in the moment either. She'd said something almost identical before the final even started. I think it's awesome for the sport. She's able to draw these crowds, and she's not even a top 5 player yet. And she went further, speaking directly to Eala in her runner-up speech. To see how far you've come over the last couple of years since when we first played, to see the amazing fans that follow you every place you go. It's not fun to play against, but I think it's amazing. Pegula's respect for Eala didn't start this week. She first faced her at the 2025 Miami Open, when Eala was still relatively unknown, and Pegula, the American playing on home soil, found herself confused by a stadium full of Filipino flags cheering against her. Over time, she said, that confusion turned into admiration, watching Eala's crowds grow bigger at every tournament since, to the point where tournaments started scheduling her matches on bigger courts just to fit the demand. The scale of what happened extends beyond the scoreline. Eala is projected to rise to a career-high world number 20, the first Filipino ever to reach that ranking. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. posted his congratulations within hours. Alex Eala does it again. The Philippines now has its first WTA 500 champion. You continue to redefine what is possible for Philippine tennis and inspire countless young Filipinos to dream without limits. Eala herself, in her winning speech, thanked her team, the tournament staff who navigated 2 days of rain delays, and most personally, the Filipino supporters who turned an American final into a home game for her. Even the tournament director sent his own message afterward, noting how far she'd come and telling her she couldn't be stopped. She has little time to celebrate. She's already seeded into the Canadian Open with a bye straight to the second round, carrying a career-high ranking and a target on her back in her very next tournament. That's the full story of what happened after the final whistle in Washington. A top 3 player, bageled in the biggest match of her season, choosing grace over bitterness in front of the exact crowd that had turned against her. Naomi Osaka called Eala a star before this all started. Jessica Pegula just proved, in front of a stadium and a trophy ceremony, that she agreed. What comes next for Eala is the Canadian Open, a brand new draw, a career-high ranking, and a target on her back for the first time in her career. We're hoping you'll be here for it. Subscribe now. Let's hit 500 together.